Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to the Off-Duty Teacher. My name is Eric, and today I figured instead of me going out and doing another haunted video or exploring somewhere, figured I'd start talking about some of the tools that ghost hunters use. Disclaimer, I do not claim to be an expert in this field whatsoever. I'm just starting. I've investigated, quote unquote, a few places, but I've been really intrigued by the paranormal for years. I've been watching a lot of videos online, both of ghost hunters as well as those who debunk ghost hunters. So it's given me a lot to think about as I do these ghost hunting videos. Some things for me as an investigator to think about, but also so that my audience, you guys, can keep in the back of your head and, maybe double check, or call me out on if you think something's off or whatever. So I'm going to get into some of the tools that we use, the benefits, the drawbacks, whatever. So we will start with this guy. This is the K2. This is probably the most familiar tool, or the one tool that you will see in pretty much every ghost hunting video out there. The way it works, press the little button and the lights light up. Alright, so a K2 is an electrical magnetic field detector. The green light means just on, and the higher the electrical magnetic field is, the closer it gets to red. It's said that spirits, ghosts, entities can manipulate the electrical magnetic field and make this spike. So it's a way of communication. You hold it out, you ask a question, and a spirit can make this go off. Problem with that is that when a lot of people go out ghost hunting, they're taking their cell phones with them. For safety reasons, I get, you want to be able to make a phone call, or maybe your normal camera dies, so you need a camera backup or whatever. But you can see it's starting to spike a little. I don't believe there's any spirit around me. The problem is that when you have your phone, you can see what it's doing, right? My phone is making this spike. I don't have my Apple Watch on, but smartwatches can do the same thing. So there are a few ways to make sure that this does not cause a false hit. And number one, that would be, I'm doing it right now, so pardon me for not looking at the camera. So part of that would be putting the phone on airplane mode. You can see it's a little blurry, but right there it's on airplane mode. Alright. Still spikes a little bit. So phone's, shut down, but you can see that it kind of spikes here and there. So one of the ways that we can ensure that we are getting accurate hits on the K2 might be to leave your smartwatch at home, make sure that your phone's in airplane mode. Don't even bring your phone with you if you're, hunting in a building. If you know the building's secure, leave your phone maybe outside, maybe leave it in a bag in another room, something like that. We want to try to make sure that we are getting the most reliable and accurate, I'm hesitant to say scientific, but data that we can get. Another thing that will make these guys go off, that K2, are like GFI outlets, some electrical appliances can make them spike. So you just want to make sure that when you're investigating, you really are being aware of your surroundings and where exactly you're getting your hits from. So if I'm in a house and my K2 starts going crazy, instead of jumping back and being like, oh my God, there's a spirit, there's a spirit, there's a spirit, one of the things that I want to try to make sure of is, what am I around? Do I have my smartwatch on? Do I have my cell phone with me? Am I near an electrical outlet or something else that could be producing an electrical magnetic field? Okay, so that's a little bit about these guys. The other thing that you'll see a lot of ghost hunters use are these cat balls, shaped like a soccer ball, meaning like it's textured, so there are little divots and it's not perfectly flat or round. It can roll. I mean, basically it can roll. So the deal with the cat balls are, you turn them on, you can see it's lighting up, right? These things light up for about 20 seconds, 30 seconds. The idea is that you put it down on the surface, you leave it on, and again, ask your questions, and the only way that these things light up is if they are physically touched. That's the only way, if it physically moves. So when using them, you want to make sure that your surface is completely flat. Aside from bringing a level with you on a ghost hunting trip, there's really no way to make sure 100% that the surface that you're putting this on is 100% flat. So what I like to do, the little red button that's right here, this is, in my opinion, the flattest area. So when I put these guys down, I'm going to put it down on that. It kind of acts like a little pedestal, I guess. And that's, for me, is a way to try to ensure that I'm getting the best reading possible, or the best evidence. I did a video a few weeks ago here in my house, and I'm gonna try to put the video, where is it, right down here somewhere, of a cat ball lighting up on the stairs. There were people in the house. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that I was the only one in the house. There were people in the house, but they were all upstairs, in bed or in their bedrooms. So there was nobody on the stairs, nothing like that. And it did go off. Now, does that mean that there's a spirit in my house? It could. Or I may have put it down, and it may have been balanced in such a way that with a little bit of time, me walking, on the floor, maybe it shifted it. Maybe my vibrations on the floor, which you can see in the video, I was pretty far away from it, but you can still feel those vibrations. Maybe that set it off. Maybe it jarred it just enough so it moved. Don't know. So we want to be, mindful of that, of these balls, these cat balls moving on their own for another reason other than paranormal. Okay. All right. Motion detector lights. These guys are cool. I do like them. This is battery operated. There's no on-off switch. It's literally just the batteries are in there, and that's the motion detector. So at night, this one, I really like this one, because even covering it up, it's not going to go off. It has to be nighttime. I'm not 100% sure how this one knows that. Maybe it can sense through the lights. There are some sensors in here. Um, I don't know. I've used this in my house just as like a little night light. I put it down on the floor, and at night, when I do walk by, it does go off. Gives a nice light for 30 seconds or so, and then shuts back off. So they do detect motion. Whether that motion is a spirit, whether it's dust, whether it's a shadow from me being in here, light coming in from outside, or light from my camera, light from my phone, cast a shadow. Does that trip it? I don't know. But I want to make sure that when I am using these, that there is nothing else around. And I will look and see, like, okay, was there anything here? Was there a shadow? Was I moving? Could I have been in the path of the beam for this? So I have not used this for ghost hunting. Like I said, I've used it just like around the house when I need some extra light, especially at night. So it is something that I want to, kind of experiment with and fool around with and see, like, where is the beam, like how close do I have to be this way or in front of it for it to go off? And once I figure that out, then I know when I'm in a location to stay, outside of that circle. All right, moving on. Got a few more things here. This guy is really cool. It's a laser grid, and I can't really show it. Actually, I can. So you can see the laser grid here on the table. So the idea with these guys is you're in a location, shoot this up onto the wall, and if something walks through and breaks the beam, you can see the lights on the wall will disappear. Great idea. It's cool for a visual, but a few issues that I foresee with this. Number one, setting it down, it's round, so it can move. And number two would be dust or bugs, flies. If it's cold, will smoke, or not smoke, but the vapor from your breath. Can that break the beam and make those lights flicker, twinkle, whatever, to make it look like something's in the way? I haven't really used this that much. I've just kind of played with it here, in my house where, when it's dark, shine it up on a wall. I've walked through it, I mean, it's cool. It really is neat. But I haven't used it in an actual investigation yet. I plan to when I go to the Amstel house in a few weeks. I would like to try this and just kind of see. So, I'll let you know what that, well, you'll be able to see the video, but, I'll be able to discuss this a little bit more once I'm done with that investigation. But, some things that I'd be wary about are, again, it moving on its own, like if I didn't put it down flat, secure it, if it's moving, does that look like something walked through it? I did notice that when I was here in the house and I was kind of like staring at it for a little while, it did look like, it was, some of the dots or whatever were twinkling or fading in and out. Could just be a trick of the mind, or playing a trick on your eyes or whatever. So like I said, I'll be interested to see how this does work actually on a real investigation. These guys, twisty flashlights. You actually have to twist. There's no button, nothing to turn it on and off other than the old school Maglite twisties. I always thought this was a really cool idea. The deal is that you twist it so that it's right at that spot where it's off but almost on, right? And then what you do is you put it down, ask your questions, and a spirit is supposed to be able to manipulate it to turn it on for yes, off for no, that kind of a thing. I've seen, so first time I did this, had it down, it was completely off, asked a question, and my foot actually bumped the chair that it was sitting on, and it turned on. And I was like, at first I was like, oh yeah, this is cool. And I was like, okay, turn it off. And it didn't do anything. And I shifted in my seat, and again, I hit that chair, and it turned off. So I started thinking, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I turned it on and off, like I was touching I hit the chair, and it, made it go on and off. So maybe, that can be a drawback to these guys. I did do another investigation with this, where it was on my desk. I'm going to try to put that down here as well. Both videos that I'm referring to, if they're not in this, they are shorts on my channel, so you can go look at them. And the second one that I actually posted online, I was asking questions, and it was turning on and off. Again, people were in the house, up in their beds. I was down in my quote office by myself, far enough away from my desk where I wasn't hitting the desk, I wasn't touching the desk, and this was going on and off. I did see a video, I forget who the creator is, but kind of explained how when you use these, and again, I'm not 100% sure, but when you twist it, there's metal inside that touches. So when you turn it on, there's two metal connectors that actually touch, and then when you turn it off, the metal disconnects from each other. Turning it so that it's right there, so it's either it's just on or just off. That metal is kind of touching, and since the metal's touching, it does create heat, and the heat, once there's enough heat builds up, it will turn on, and then it cools down, it turns off. I don't know the science behind how these things work, in that aspect. I know when you twist it, things connect and it turns on. When you turn it off, you're pulling that connection away. In terms of what I was just explaining, I'm not 100% sure. Okay, I'm just relaying information that I've seen online. So I don't know. I need to play with this a little bit more. I do have two of these. I have a bigger one. I do have a smaller one that I plan on setting both of them up and kind of comparing the two of them. My next real official ghost hunt. I have heard that at the Amstel house there's a little girl that likes to play with toys, so this might be something that I take and just kind of see if I can get any hits with it, just see what happens. But keeping in mind, making sure that this is still, making sure that nothing's bumping it or moving it or anything like that. So we'll see. All right. Let's see. I kind of think I want to talk about an app. There have been a lot of apps out there that a lot of people use. This is a big one now, Spirit Talker. It's a big one that I see a lot of creators using now. A lot of the apps, from what I've been seeing, have, I don't know, preloaded dictionaries with all kinds of different words in it. And a lot of the words are, I'm going to say, hand chosen to be paranormal or spooky or creepy or whatever. The randomness of when it spits out words, I don't know how it works. I don't know the algorithm with these apps. I don't know if they're real. I don't know anything other than it's, an app that a lot of creators use. I've used it occasionally, just to mess around with it and kind of see, what kind of a response I get. There have been times when I was out in the woods, I got a few words or phrases that kind of made sense to where I was. But is that just the randomness of what it's throwing out? I don't know. I have heard that since your phone does have a microphone, that it can listen to what you're saying, and maybe the app then goes through the hundreds or thousands or whatever words in the word bank and chooses something that is similar to where you are. I don't know. I think it takes a lot more playing around with to, kind of work it out and see what's what with it. So that's the app. I use it. I'll be using it again at the Amstel house. But we'll see. It's worth messing around with to, kind of see what I can get with it. Actually, I do have two more. Digital recorder. This guy's awesome. When I was in the woods last week, I did capture what I believe to be a voice. I did ask a question. It was not a direct response to the question that I asked. I asked, "What is your name?" And what I heard on this was the word "here." So I don't know if that was "here" like "hear me," or like "I'm here right now," or was it my ears, with my brain, trying to make sense of ambient noise? I was near a creek. There was moving water. I was in the woods. It was raining. Well, not really raining, but rain was starting. There was wind, so the trees were moving. The trees, and everything were moving. You could hear wind in the, blowing through the trees. Was it an actual voice, a spirit, somebody talking to me through this? I don't know. But I heard the word "here." I don't know. I haven't used these enough to really say yes or no. So, like I said, we'll see with more investigations, going to different places, inside, outside, we'll get a better understanding of what comes through on this. I just want to make sure that the content that I'm delivering is as reliable and valid and as scientifically um, sound as I can give. I'm not going to be asking for knocks or things like that. I've seen too many videos lately of some ghost hunters that can manipulate their toes. I think it's called like the hammer toe or something like that, weird name, but they actually like move. They do this with their toes, right, like inside their shoes, and it sounds like a knocking sound. um, Other ones have also used like, I don't know, solenoid or something inside of their shoe, and it acts like a remote, and there's something somewhere else that literally like, you know, knocks against the wall. So I don't want to do that kind of hokey stuff, or have anything interpreted for what I do as, oh, he's doing this or he's doing that. I really want to approach my ghost hunting as scientific as possible. I am a believer in the afterlife, but I'm also kind of skeptic. That skeptic in terms of, why are people actually, or spirits, why are they lingering around here? Why wouldn't they move on? So that's kind of where I'm at, like I want to find out, like, when someone dies, why haven't they moved on? Why are they still here? So we'll see. We'll see how my first investigation goes. I really, truly am excited. And because we're going to be at a historic place, I plan to deliver some kind of history lesson along with, the ghost investigation. So, I want to make it as enjoyable and as engaging as possible for everyone. So, if you have any comments, if you have any suggestions for the tools that I've shown, drop me a comment. If there's a tool that, one of the things that I excuse me, that I showed, and you're like, hey, I've tried this and this really works, leave me that comment, and on my investigation, I'll give it a shot. I'll give you a shout out. If, I said something about or described one of the tools in a way, and you're like, I'm not so sure, just leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. If what I said was incorrect, then, tell me. So anyway, talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.